Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today I'm going to rave about 3 awesome new features on the new Lexus GX550 Over Trail Edition. Let's jump right into it. The first one is AVS, or Adaptive Variable Suspension. Now, it's important to note AVS is not KDSS, which is a sway bar disconnect, nor is it AHC, Adaptive Height Control. This AVS system is completely separate from those 2 other systems. The adaptive height control is airbags. We're not talking about that. That puts air into the rear air springs and adjusts the height. That's not this, nor is it KDSS, which is a sway bar disconnect. So what is AVS, or Adaptive Variable Suspension? In a nutshell, it's an awesome system that allows you to change the damping characteristics of the shock automatically by hitting a button on the GX550 console. Essentially normal mode, sport mode, and comfort mode. Now, the first thing people are going to say is that's a gimmick that was around on the older GX460s on some trims, and it was, and it's a gimmick, and they say that because they have no idea how the system actually works. Generally, when people don't understand something, they dismiss it. Well, here's the thing. AVS, or Adaptive Variable Suspension, is not new. It's actually been around on Toyota cars since 1983 with Toyota's TIMS system, or Toyota Electronic Modulated Suspension, 1983.
みんなの夢だった高性能をこんなに身近にしたのはトヨタの新技術です。レーザー&ペガサスファントゥードライブトヨタです。車はもっと素敵な乗り物になるんですね。新しいサスペンションペガサスを得て、今トヨタのすべての技術はファントゥードライブの世界へ。Toyota.
And here's how the system works. It's quite brilliant and extremely robust, which is important for Toyota, which is why they adopted. Essentially, inside the shock is a piezoelectric actuator. Essentially, piezoelectric actuator is a crystal that responds to voltage, and it simply expands with voltage and contracts without voltage. Inside your shock, this actuator, when you hit your buttons on your to do sport, normal, and comfort, it essentially adjusts the flow in the shock, the oil flow, and that's going to change your compression characteristics primarily. So it's a robust system. There's no valves, there's no pistons, there's no it's not like an electromagnetic, there's no coils, so it's not like a spring plunger or an electromagnetic plunger or anything like that. It's simply the crystal expanding and contracting to control the oil flow inside the shock. Very, very robust. Now, this is imperative when you're going off-road, and this is where I'm getting into why people don't understand it, because some people try the AVS system and they say, oh, there's no difference, I can't see anything, it's a placebo, it's a gimmick, blah, blah, blah. But it's not. It's designed to, when you're out here like where we live on washboard roads, and you're off-roading and it's bumpy and crazy, you hit the comfort mode, and it's going to open up the oil flow inside your shocks and allow for less compression dampening. So when you hit those hard washboards, it's not going to dampen it and firm it up as much. It's going to allow the spring to do its thing and absorb that shock. Conversely, when you're on road and you want to firm up the suspension, you'll change the damping characteristics in order to have more dampening. So it will firm up the suspension. Now, normal mode, of course, is just normal mode. Now, the point of this is not to be some sort of deep dive into how this AVS system works. Instead, I'm pointing out that there's an objective difference being made when you hit the button to change the settings. The crystal inside is getting bigger. It's expanding and blocking the flow physically of the hydraulic fluid inside of the shock absorber. So it's objectively changing the function of the shock. Laser shock!
愛の渦にレーザーショック巻き込まれそうさりげない
進化を続けるトヨタのレーザーがついに FF を変える。
レーザーショック
走り、低燃費、そして広さ、その全てにトヨタの技術が新しい時代を開いた。ニューテクノロジーサルーンビスタ1800誕生。
Most people who are into modding their cars in the past 30 years have been known to get those shocks with those dials on them that adjust the dampening and rebound, manually with the dial. Well, Toyota does this electronically. And as I just stated, this piezoelectric actuator is super robust insofar as there's no moving parts. The crystal expands and contracts to adjust the flow of oil. So the pragmatic and practical use of this is off-road. You'd put that sucker in comfort mode so you have a more comfortable ride. Our GX460 behind us does not have AVS, so it defaults to just default Tokiko shocks. And when we go on the washboards out here, it is firm going over these washboards. If we had AVS, we could hit comfort mode. It would lessen the dampening. It would soak up those bumps better. So this is not a gimmick of a system. It's very useful. It's very practical. Now, whether people feel that or not is, I think, mental. And hopefully by explaining how the system actually works and how robust it actually is, that when you do hit those buttons, you are changing the oil flow characteristics in your shocks. It's not a gimmick. And it's a very old system. The system, as you see from the old commercials, came out in 1983. That means AVS is essentially 39 years old and proven, and they only put it on their flagship vehicles. So it's an old, proven system. Now you might be thinking, oh, other cars have adaptive variable suspension, blah, 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 but not so. Toyota developed AVS way back with Tim's, and they patented it. And Toyota hates giving up patents. They don't do that. So the other AVS systems are either air pneumatic, so they involve air bladders and things like that, or magnetizing the shock fluid or other methods. But it's not this very simple and robust system that Toyota patented 39 years ago and is well proven. So again, I think a lot of the it doesn't make placebo gimmick talk comes from not understanding how it works and what it was intended to do. It is meant for when you go off-road or when you're going around a mountain pass to hit those buttons and let the system do its thing. Now, it's an intelligent system. It works with all the other sensors and functions on the car. It knows your steering angle in order to change electronically the damping forces. It knows if you're accelerating hard to change the damping forces, and it knows if you're braking hard to change the damping forces to change the outcome and make the outcome more controllable for you. So it's going to be on the new Lexus GX550. It is not a Mickey Mouse gimmick system. It is the real deal. All right, let's move on to the second rave about the GX550, the upcoming GX550 Overtrail, and that is the bumper right out of the box is ready to be cut. So if you notice the lines on the GX550, you can clearly see that some thought went into what people are going to do with this car once they get it and want to overland it or off-road it. And unlike this GX460 with its crazy angular lines that are very hard and difficult to cut away on the front bumper to get more clearance, the GX550 seems to be pre-packaged, pre-designed, ready to cut off about 2, maybe 3 inches, maybe more. It's hard to tell from the pictures, of plastic on the front bumper and the rear bumper. So this is one of those small things, but if you're going to use the vehicle as it's intended to be used, a simple snip with whatever tool you want to use will clear up a good 3 to maybe 4 inches off the front and rear. That's huge because you're not going to have to install an aftermarket bumper right away if you want to get a substantial amount more of ground clearance right out of the box. So it may seem like a small thing, but cutting this bumper and getting it to fit and finding something that works is a big pain, and following the weird lines was a big pain. Looks like a straight cut on the GX550 front and rear, and you're going to gain maybe 4 inches of clearance on the front. All right, the third and final thing that's awesome about the Lexus GX550 upcoming is turn assist. So the Over-Trail edition is going to have the turn assist. Now, anybody who's been on the trail knows that trails are tight. And if you think turn assist is a gimmick, you must be doing some wide trails. Nobody likes doing 3-point turns on a trail when you want to turn around. So again, a small thing, a marginal thing, but a big thing if you off-road and you just want to turn around. You got turned around. You know, we do it all the time where I'm like, oh, I should have went that way, and I got to pull a 10-point turn in this tight trail to get going. The turn assist, while not new, it's been around on the Land Cruiser 200 for years now, is now going to be in the Lexus GX550. First for a GX, it's going to break the inside wheel in the direction you're turning and allow for a tighter turn radius. What that adds up to off-road is a more enjoyable experience, because there's a lot of time wasted doing 3-point, 6-point, 10-point turns to turn around. In addition, it's kind of stressful. You got to worry about what you're hitting, this, that, and the other. And so I think the turn assist, again, while not new to Toyota, new to the GX, on a GX, which is smaller than the full-size Land Cruiser, is going to be a big thing as far as comfort and convenience off-road. So I'm excited for that. All right, enough rambling. Remember, this is just fun and games, just getting excited about the new Lexus GX550. I think it's going to be a hit either way. If you like this video, please remember to like and subscribe. Thank you, and have a great, great day.
The deal, as she shouted, it's the funky lesson 1 to the grill. I should have known that something wasn't right in walking. The biggity boom was just ticking and clocking. A nice boy in plaid is passed from his dad. Another straight in the fight man, but he wasn't from the right clan. Stop all the nonsense, defense is my defense. Oh yeah. I know the mode is daily dense. Time has passed on, but it's been a million days. We're still ninth and divided, running round in haze. Knocking at my door, I've been feeling the boom since a little after 4. So what's up with that core? Was he really bored? Yo, break out the sword, let's go cruising in your Ford. Yeah, watch out, yo, Sweet knows the deal. As she shouted it out,